Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again, both for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. We're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD, and today we're talking about a rare neurodegenerative disease called STD. Well, you guys may not realize it, but this is STD Awareness Week. You may think about dementia only when it comes to people over 60, but there is this rare condition called STD that does strike individuals in their 40s and 50s. And here to talk to us more about it and also the diagnosis that can be done as well as conditions that we should be looking for, we're excited to welcome Dr. Andrea Bozoki to our program today. We also have joining us today Susan Dickinson, who's the CEO of the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration. She's going to talk to us about her mission as well as where you guys can go for more information. Thanks to the two of you for the time. Really appreciate it.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Well, Dr. Bozoki, I want to start with you. I mean, tell us about FTD and what it is and how we can know if we have it or may be impacting one of our loved ones.
Sure. So it is a mouthful to say the whole thing, frontotemporal dementia, and it's even more of a mouthful to say that it is a neurodegenerative disease. So that means, in layman's terms, that it causes a loss of brain cells, in this case in the front part of the brain over time. And as you mentioned, this is a midlife disease. It can affect people as young as their mid-40s, though more commonly in their 50s and 60s. And although it's rare overall in the population, it's the most common form of dementia affecting people under 60. And I just want to say, because I get asked this a lot, dementia is an umbrella term. It describes a set of symptoms that can be caused by a lot of different diseases. Alzheimer's is the most common form of dementia, and its trademark for symptom is usually memory loss, okay? But FTD is different. Its earliest changes are to a person's behavior or personality, and then it impairs, rather than memory, it impairs their reasoning and judgment, their planning and organization abilities. Sometimes people have speech or language problems, and rarely they can even have movement disorders.
Wow. So, and this is why this conversation is so important. Susan, appreciate you being with us as well. So what are some of the red flags then, Susan, that we should be on the lookout for when it comes to STD?
Sure. So as Dr. Bozoki described, this is a confusing array of symptoms that can be very disorienting. Somebody with reasoning or judgment impairment, somebody who's been good at their work, they may start missing deadlines or displaying poor judgment. Somebody who's been classically an affectionate parent or spouse at home may start showing lack of interest in family activities. Or somebody with a language variant often has trouble putting words together into meaningful sentences, or they can even lose the meaning of common words like car. When you put these together, we're talking about a change in yourself or the person you love that happens at this earlier age. And because FTD is more rare than Alzheimer's, a lot of doctors are not familiar with it and don't make the diagnosis. And in fact, on average, it can take up to 3.5 years to get an accurate diagnosis of FTD.
Susan, while we're speaking to you, I mentioned that you're the CEO of the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration. Talk to us about the work that you all do.
Sure. So we're a nonprofit. We were founded by a group of caregivers who wanted to make a difference in the lives of the families to come. We fund a lot of research. We provide direct support to the families in the form of a 1-800 helpline. We have a network of about 100 support groups across the country. And we're also working hard to educate those doctors about this diagnosis and care. Not everybody's an expert like Dr. Bozoki, and we want to make sure that your primary care physician or maybe even your community neurologist is at least aware of this diagnosis so that even if they're not comfortable making it themselves, they know where to refer to an expert.
Dr. Bozoki, you mentioned, of course, how complicated this can be. How does that impact the treatment options that are available for people with FTD?
So, sure. What I do in my practice every week is to guide patients and families both through the diagnostic process and then on to treatment. So we currently have medications that can target some of the cognitive and the behavioral symptoms, even though, unfortunately, because I get asked this every week, we don't yet have disease-slowing medication. So, in my role as a researcher at our institution, which is University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, I conduct, both observational and clinical trial studies in this area of FTD, with the hope that we will shortly have some better disease-modifying drugs. Looks like our successes in that area may be with the genetic forms of the disease, which is a real important part of the diagnostic process to get genetic testing.
That's why this conversation is so important, and so glad that the two of you can join us on FTD Awareness Week to be able to share this with our audience. Again, everyone, Dr. Andrea Bozoki has been our guest, as well as Susan Dickinson, the CEO of the Association for Frontotemporal Degeneration, talking with us about what FTD is, and of course, as you just heard there, the treatment options are available. Dr. Bozoki, where can our audience go for more information?
Yeah, learnftd.com. It's a new website that has been put together by experts specifically to target both pre-diagnosis and also for those who know what's wrong, how to get genetic testing and how to look for clinical trials in their area. LearnFTD.com.
We'll make sure that we link that for our audience. And Susan, what about you? How can we find out more information about the work that you're doing?
Sure. Our website is theaftd.org. And again, that's a good way to get in touch with more information as well as the community that can help provide some support.
All right. Well, thanks to the two of you for the great work you're doing and the time today. Really appreciate it, and looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cyrus.
All right. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD 94.1 FM. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live, and let's go make today amazing. Take care.